Okay, up to now, we have discussed about these topics. Please let me know if we miss anything, right? The first thing that we have discussed about, we did introduction to software engineering, basically, and SDLC, software development life cycle, that is basics of the background of this programming. And then we started programming, and we learn about programming paradigms, concepts like flowcharts and pseudocodes. Then that is actually the program design. Program design phase. So under that we discuss about flowchart and programming. The fourth topic that we were discussing is basically Python. We just started Python and learn about syntax, how we can use Python to do something. And then we learn about variables. After learning about the variables, we have learned about, so not just variable, actually identifiers. Identifiers covers variables, function names, class names, everything. Then the sixth part, we just discussed about control structures. And so we just discussed about sequence, where instructions are executed one after another, selection, where you have the conditional statements, and repetition, where you have loops. Then we learn about libraries too. So what are the external libraries like Turtle, Inter? So we learn about that, how to import them into our program. That is again fundamentals. Then after that, after learning about the libraries, we learn about data types, and also about the lists, tuples, and dictionaries. And sets. So after after learning about these list, tuples, dictionaries, and sets, then we have moved into functions. Under functions, we have learned about different functions. So we learn about recursive functions, returning functions, then we started learning about algorithms. Under that, we discussed about sequential or linear search, and also discuss about binary search, but didn't implement, but just discuss. And after that, we have discussed about bubble sort. Oh, one thing is missing. I just wouldn't mention that there. So the missing thing, I'll mention it here. We have learned about file handling too. Basically reading and writing into files. Okay. So is there anything that I couldn't mention? Is there anything that you are having doubts, or is there anything that we need to cover or redo up to here? If so, please tell me.
I don't think so, no.
Right, you are confident with that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what we have done up to now. Then what next? So 16, today we are doing about selection, sort, and after that I'll be introducing the DB concept, database concept, which is really essential for any kind of programming. So after learning about the database concepts, we will learn about SQL, MySQL implementation. And after MySQL implementation of that, we will be merging them together. That is MySQL with Python. And after that, we will be doing our project. So that is the topic number 2. 20 project. Project is basically create, retrieve, update, deletion application using structured programming. After that, we will be learning about object-oriented programming, right? And then we will do another same implementation project using this OP concepts. Oh, sorry, project using OP concept. Then we are done with the basic Python. So this is actually a kind of 3 months or 4 months Python course. So we will be confident with the language, and not only that, language implementation and how a database can be handled using a language. And one of the most essential thing will be topped into this, that is 23, security or secure programming. Because any of these programs need to be secured. So we will learn about basics, right? This is not just a hard, like we are not in that level to learn about advanced security, skill injection. So those things are also there. Not just that, there are a lot of bug fixes, vulnerability scanning, and all. Security is a big topic. So we will just overview or do a fun, like basic review or basic overview study about this security related things, right? So that is about what we are going to discuss. We have few topics left, and after that, so the suggestion was to start the new chapter, which is Java. Java is basically object-oriented programming, and we will be doing all these topics starting from topic number 4 to topic number 23 using Java. So that is the second spell. Actually, in the second spell, you need to work a little harder than the first spell, because the Python is anyway structured programming and it has OP too. But Java, when it comes to Java, you need to practice a little harder, because Java is not that much of syntactically simple when it compared with Python. So Java has, like the Java syntax is bit difficult. It's not difficult, but a bit lengthier, actually, a bit lengthier and more structured, and it is OP. So likewise, the implementation part is like you need to code bit more. So that is in Java. So we will be covering all the topics again related to Java, but that will be easy since we have already done that. So it will not be a big thing, because we will be familiar with the concept. Only thing is we have to syntactically compare both languages. Okay, then I'll go to the selection sort, which is today's topic, quickly. Okay, first of all, let me remind that we have learned about finding the maximum and finding the minimum in a list. In a given list, we identify how to find the maximum. Let's say find max, define max. And so let's say I'm going to give a list, my list. So how do we find max? You have to iterate through the items, and you have to first define placeholder for the max item. Let's say max item is initially ML 0th item. Blindly I can assign. So I can then say if for I in ML, you're going to repeat if this I is greater than the max item. So that is the max item. That is the max item. So the max item is equal to that I. So ultimately, after running the for loop, you can return the max item. That's all. So this simple repetition and selection will implement finding max algorithm. But you have easy way. You can just say max function. You can just apply the max function and get it. But let's implement the algorithm. So you have found the easy way by observing that website. That is okay. totally okay in the implementation part, but here in the learning phase, let's learn about the algorithm. Let's learn about the, so the sorting is also easy, no? Sort function will sort it, right? No need to use an algorithm, but for the learning purpose, we need it. Okay. So let's run it. And my function ML is not defined. So yeah, I have to define the ML. Initially, I'm going to define ML as empty list here. And then the 0th item will not be there. Again, a problem will come. 0th item will not be there. Okay, default list. Okay, you can do something like this. ML equal input and item, enter numbers separated by commas. Okay, I'm asking to enter numbers separated by commas. Then this is actually the my list. What I'm going to do is I'm going to split that. ML equal my list. I'll be splitting that. We learned this command. I'll be splitting that using the comma delimiter and assign that to a list. Okay, I think now my problem is solved. So it's asking me enter numbers separated by commas. Let's give a few items. Enter up. Split. Promise spellings. Let's give the items. Okay, so I need to print the max item. Say, is it returning the max item? Oh. Max item. Oh, not be first. You have to return it, right? Returning max item need to be captured. Returning max item need to be captured. Let's do it here itself. Print. Print. Find max. ML. Okay. That will do my task. Run module. Run it. Put in the numbers. Oh, put in the numbers. Oh. Yeah, local variable max item reference before assignment. So we ask my max item. I have missed that. Max item is ML0. I have to tell that first. Otherwise, how can it assign? Another problem. We have run it, right? Max item is okay. ML0. Another one. Print max item if 6 line 6. Is there any spelling mistake? Find max for an ML if this is greater than max item. That is correct. Getting this max item, and that is ML0. ML is after splitting the list. Okay, that part is okay. Global max item, this max item, right? I'm referring to this max item. So be careful when it is out of the scope. It's not identifying the variable, because this max item is a local variable. If you define it here, this max item will become a global. Global means it can be accessed by anywhere, this max item. But this max item, so if you are not mentioning this global explicitly, it will belong to the function only. So it's like calling little son in your home. You can say elder son, but elder son is relevant to your home only. When it becomes the outside world, people cannot call you, hey, elder son, because your friends and family members will know who's elder son. It's like this. If you write a variable, if they simply think about this I, so I is valid inside this function because it is belongs to the function. Then this I, ML is actually outside the function here. ML is the outside the function. I have given that as a parameter, therefore this is acceptable. This ML refers to this ML parameter. This ML refers to this ML. There's a link. And if I'm not mentioning this max item, it will think this max item as a local variable. But I'm telling this max item is same as this max item. So let's run it now. And you can see 56 returns. Right, 56 returns. Let me call that again. By running this, enter numbers separated by commas. I'll be putting that values. You can say it returns 90, means finding the max item. That part is done. Okay, now I have a job to you. I have a small task that you need to go through and try to complete. So, okay, once the max item is found, so you can do something like this. So once the max item is found, do something like this. Please change the position of the max item. Please change the position of the max item. This is the max item now. Okay, let's give another list. Let's try with another list, a simple one. Okay, let's say 1, 7. Okay, these are numbers. So the max item is 7. So once max item is discovered, you need to swap. How to swap? You need to change the position of these two. Position of this. And you need to put the position of this two here. That means 6 and 7 you need to swap. This is in the first place. After swapping that, you will see this kind of result. So let me draw it. 1, 6, 4, 7. Then you are again finding the max item, but not from the entire list. You are finding the max item from this list. So what is the max item? 1, 6, 4. What is the max item? Minaga? Hello? You're muted.
Sorry, it lagged for a second, sorry.
6. Is it? What is the max item?
7.
No. I'm asking from this list. Now 7 is already discovered and replaced.
Okay.
6, right?
6. Right.
Yeah. Then what you need to do, you have to replace, like you have to swap 6 and 4. 6 with 4, you have to swap. Because the newly discovered max item is 6, that you need to swap with 4. So the result will be 1, 4, 6, and 7. Now, now 2 items are discovered. Therefore, you are going to find the max item from this. So what is the max item from 1 and 4?
4.
4. So do we need to swap or keep as it is?
Keep as it is.
Keep as it is, because it's already sorted, no need to change. So then ultimately, if you are going to find the max item, it's only 1, so no need to swap, no need to do anything, it's only 1 item. So you can see the list is already sorted. So there is 1, 4, 6, 7. This is the idea of selection sort. You are going to either find the max item or swap with the last element, or you are going to find the minimum item and swap with the first element. That can also be done. Okay. So if there's a list, let's say 1 is the minimum item, you keep it in 1. Then 7, 6, 4. 7, 6, 4. 4 is the minimum item. Next will be swapped here. And next 7, 6. 6 is the minimum item. You keep it here, and the 7 will remain. So that is also a way of sorting. Finding the minimum and replace with the first element. Swap with the first element. Or finding the maximum and swapping with the last element. So this is the concept. Did you understand?
Yeah.
Right. Shall we try to implement this? I know it's a bit hard, but you can give a try. First implement this one, and then try to implement this swap in paste after discovering. Okay, let's give a try. Think like this. When you provide Okay, when you provide the input, when you provide provide a list, right? When you give one, when you have provided a list, so this is capable, right? This is capable of getting the maximum item from it, out of it, right? Okay, so without doing that, so you can make it like, so this is working for the specific ML list only, no? Or you can, so like here, if you give something like this, see what happened. So this is not globally applicable due to this reason. So if I give find max, if I try to execute find max function for a given list, this is a given list. For given list, if you try to implement find max function, you can see it's not it's not comparing. It's not comparing. The reason is like here I am referring to the global. So I can make it local simply by telling the max item equal ML0, it's here. If I place this code part here, so then there will be a local variable. So when there's a local variable, when I remove this variable, when I run this, okay, when I run this and okay, let's give one, it's finding the maximum. And not only that, if I give local reference, local implementation by directly passing the parameter, still it's capable of finding the maximum. So let's say, so small change, but this is not required. This is additional part, right? I was just telling because there are different implementations. This is only a simple, you can see 8 is the maximum. It's fine. Anyway, it's applicable externally too. Right, not just through the program, you can externally also apply. Anyway, the machine works like this. When you input a list, it finds the maximum, right? That is the machine. Machine means the function. So just assume this as a machine. When you give a list, it finds the maximum, right? Understood?
Yeah.
Right? When you give a list, it finds the maximum. That is the result. Very simple, straightforward. Okay, you have to use that. Now you have to use that. And okay, when you have a list, let's say another list, if let's say this is selection sort. In the selection sort, another list will be provided. Let's say same ML or something will be provided. You have to iterate through this list again, because you need to check with each item. Selection sort ML, then you can say, okay, let's have a temporary variable, and currently temp is nothing. So temp is, let's say temp is 0, something like this. And because like you need to swap. We learned how to swap last day, right? If you have a coffee cup, tea cup, I said that, right? When there are coffee cup and tea cup, how can we share? Here you have coffee, here you have tea, then you need another extra cup, right?
Yeah.
You need extra cup. Did you understand that concept we discussed last day?
Yeah.
Put in coffee to this one, and then put in tea to the coffee one, and finally put in the temporary to this tea one. So we'll sub that. So that is why we need a temporary variable, right? Okay, temporary variable, selection sort, there's a temporary variable. Then what you need to do, you need to find the max, right? Find the max of this list that we already implemented. So don't think much, just the max item is ML. Find max ML, right? You are going to find the maximum item. Then what you need to do? You need to replace, actually you don't want, you need both index and the item. The reason you need both index and the item. Why? The reason is you need to swap, right? If you need to swap, you need to know the location. Understood my point? Because just knowing the maximum item is not enough. You need to know the location of the maximum item, right? Hello?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, here 8 is the maximum item in this list. But you need to know what is the location of 8, right? Then only you can swap 2 and 8. Otherwise, to where we swap? 8 position need to be upgraded to 2's position, and 2's position need to be updated to 8th position, right? You need position. Yeah. Therefore, I'm revising this for sorry, for I in range length of ML. I'm revising. Reason for revising. So then you are checking if ML I is the max item. The max item is this LM, it's ML. Max item is MLI. I'm just changing this to the index. And not only that, I need max index. I need to return two things. Max index is, let's say, 0. Here I'm telling max index is I. So I'm just, not only I'm going to discover the max item, I'm going to find the max index too, the location too. Then I'm returning both. Max item and max index both. Returning both. I have the max item and the max index both returned, right? Then max item is find max ML, it is 0, and max index, in the other hand, you can say max index is find max ML 1, because it is the next item. This is inside the selection sort. Let me run it again. And you can see when I give a list like this, it filters and give you 6 and its position. 6 and its position both. Right? Not just 6 and its position too. Okay? Okay with this part?
Yes.
It's finding the item as well as item position. Now you need the swap. Okay, so let's comment swap. How to swap? You know it. Yes? How to swap?
Yeah. So
You can say, so max index is where the item found. Right? Max index is where the item found. In is ML, max index, let me make it equal to the temp. Then let's take the max index and assign that the max number that you have found. What is the max number that you found? This is max item. What you found is that. Right? Then temp equal this one and this one equal this one. And then you need the max item too. Okay, temp is assigned. This is assigned. And you have to say ML. Yeah, let's say we are shifting to the last item. ML, the last item is, length of ML minus 1 is the last item. ML, length of ML minus 1 is the last item, is equal to the temp is this one. Okay, temp is this one. The last item is this one. Sorry, last item is this one. And then the last item will be the max item. This is after the first step. This is the first step, right? Let me run this code and show you the result. Okay, I'm entering the items. So it's discovering 7 as the item. Then I'm implementing the selection sort and giving this list, selection sort, and I'm giving this list back again to this one. Okay, so let's see. I need to print this. Sorry, I need to print this. Oh, here actually I need to add a print statement here. So I need to return the ML after doing this. Otherwise, how can I get the item back? Okay, can you see the 7 is here now, 2 is here now. Hello?
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, 7 and 2 stacked. So let's try with some other. I'm going to give 9 here. Then 9 and 2 should stack here. 9 and 2 stacked. Okay, I have make it very easy now. I know like structure or this, what do you call this implementation part, thinking with the algorithm, it's quite hard, quite difficult. So this is where you have to train your brain. You have methods, don't worry, right? In case if you are not going to do this from scratch nor in real programming. In real programming, you have a method called sort. And once you use this list, and if you sort this, it happens, right? It happens. So you don't want to worry even. So that is giving the result, right? Getting result is the problem when it is come to the practical implementation. Oh yes, if you can make like ml equal this, and then you can say print ml dot sort and sorted, and you have to print in ml. So that work is done. Work is already done here. It's very easy. Work is done. But the thing is, this is implementation when you are doing real coding. But in order to develop your programming skills, you have to think as a programmer. To think as a programmer, you need the algorithm part. Otherwise, you don't want this because you have methods. If there are easy methods, for an example, if auto driving is there in the Tesla car, so why do we need driving skills actually? We can think like that, right? See, if auto driving is there in the cars, in future, all the cars are coming with auto driving. So do we need to learn driving? I think it will not be essential. But the thing is, if you know how to drive, that will be definite advantage because you know how it works, right? No need to just rely on a system. Your brain is developed. Otherwise, what will happen when when this evolution goes like this and the things are coming, things will be very easy. The calculators will do the calculation. Voice typing will enable the voice typing. So you don't even type in skills. You don't want to even to have the typing skills. And driving skills are not necessary because it will be auto driving. And maybe riding skills are not necessary because it's auto riding. So what will happen ultimately? So you will just become a commodity. You will not have a value. So to build your value, so don't just rely on so these are there. Yes, you can use that. But develop yourself as well. Respect your brain. And give it some exercises. You know, when exercises are not done after an accident, so I think you have seen, basically people apply POP plasters, plaster of Paris. Like especially in joints, if it is like damaged, fractured, so then POP plaster will be appear. But after some time, you cannot move your hand properly. You have to do physiotherapy and get it corrected, right? Without the exercise, same thing will happen to your brain. So then it will also freeze. Once your brain freeze, you need brain therapy to get it back to normal. So that is what happening in the current generation. I know that. So you are not belong to your generation. You are actually coming under your father's generation. Still, we are also suffering from that brain freezing. I think the future generation, like you, definitely subjected to this because you have things, you can do things easily. But doing things easily should not vanish your brain. Therefore, please try this. Think as problem. I know it's difficult, but give exercises to the brain. These are brain therapies. Okay, so can you repeat the process? Get this done, the full list sorted. I have done only for one item. Can you repeat this and get this done? Just give a try because you need to repeat this, right? The first instant will only have two numbers, the largest with the smallest. That is the first instant. But it is not here selection sort of this. Let's say selection sort of, if I have given three numbers, 3, 4, 2, oh yes, 1. So 4 numbers, you can see 1 and 4 set. But that is only the first space. I need this to be done repetitively. Can you do this? Just give a try. Use some exercise. Please go to the running interface. Yeah. There, please define a list. You can say ML equals some, or some like marks equals some list. Give some list. Yeah. Okay, now run the selection sort as parameter ML. No, you cannot run like this. This has one parameter. You cannot run without parameter, right? So if it is a one parameter function, you have to give ML or whatever your list which need to be sorted. That is, I think it is doing the first spell of sorting is done, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you repeat now? Okay. Yeah, it's applying for the first step. That doesn't matter, right? So it's working with the code. The only problem is like you cannot call that without the parameter. That is why that error is generated. So you cannot call this without the parameter. Anyway, so I'll give you time to think. I think it's better because like here also I'm in that list. If I'm giving the list only, it will happen. But just sort, it doesn't need something because it is a different function. But here, if you are doing a selection sort, which we have customized, you need, okay, what you need to do actually? So what you need to do actually means you have to repeat this process. Now the swapping need to be, so after finding the max item, and so this need to be repeated, right? This need to be repeated. And finally you have to return this. Okay, to repeat this, you can do something like you have to go through the entire list. So that can be done for again k in range. So you can say length of this ml, the list given. So then repeat the process, but repeating this process again and again, see what will happen. If I try to repeat the process again and again and get this done, this is just finding the max item. Then I'm trying the selection sort with the list given. Let's say you can see it's returning, but the returning result is only this one and this one set, nothing else. But you are doing this multiple times, but still the result is same. So let's return the ML within the loop. Within the loop, if you return the ML, so see what will happen. Actually, this first part I don't need to run, so it's just showing something, so that is not relevant to our selection sort part. But if you give the selection sort, see what happened. So multiple time it repeats, but here the selection sort of this, it repeats for k in range length of m. So save k in range length of range. You are returning only one time. Let's print it. Sorry, print it. Because returning can happen only one time. Let's print this multiple time. Selection sort of this. So if I'm repeating this 7 times, number of times, so items, you can see all 7 give same result. But I need actually the second maximum. Then the second maximum is 5. 5 need to be swapped with 3. The third maximum is 3. 3 need to be swapped with so this one. So likewise, I need to repeat this swapping. But it is not happening. It's not happening because I'm not changing actually. I'm only swapping with the last item only here. Right, this item I'm finding, but I'm just getting the last item only. Here length of this last item will be set, but actually I need to shorter the list. So after finding this max item 7, I need to shorter this list to this part, right? Understood? I have to trim the list because this is now done. I don't want to look at that back. If I am going to discover the max again, the max will be always 7. Will it be okay to have always 7 as the maximum? Or the next maximum need to be discovered? What do you think? Do you need the 7 only or the next maximum?
Only. I think you only need the next maximum.
Yeah, if you find 7, 7 is the maximum. That is for the first time, okay. But the second time maximum should be 5. The third time maximum should be 4, right?
Yeah.
To make, actually, to let that happen, we have to trim the list. We have to remove the item 7 from the list once discovered. And then you need to remove the item, next item from the list. So next you have to remove this item. That means you have to make this list shorter. When you are going like this, you need to make this list a shorter one. Like this. This one, then this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, and then this one. So after that, the list will be sorted. Right? That is a challenge. How to make this list shorter. When you are like you are running this through ML, but the next time this should run in ML -1. Next time ML this one -2, this -3, this -4, this -5, this -6. Likewise, until the items are over, you have to keep it short. Right? So that part I'll keep it to you. Now I have already almost given the algorithm. 90% of the things are completed. Only thing is you have to keep the list shorter. Otherwise, always 7 will be the maximum. You have to stop this. At the next ML, after the first sort, the next ML should be what? Next ML should be not the same ML. And next ML should be 1 less than the previous ML. If you understand that, you can simply modify this code and get this done. I'll keep that to tomorrow, right?
Okay.
Okay, then bye.
Okay, bye.
Take a screenshot. Don't forget, take a screenshot.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I'll stop.